Protests against gold panning have begun in Tuva. The authorities admit that it is ecologically unsafe, but they are not taking back the licenses that have already been issued. The environmental conflict is also connected with the fight for the post of head of the region. A source for Novaya Gazeta Evropa claims residents of the village of Selig in the Chedikolski district of Tuva blocked the bridge and did not allow the equipment of the Oina artel, which was panning gold in the local river, to pass. Local officials came to the bridge and seemed to promise that the gold miners would leave, but then the police detained several people. One of the participants was fined 5,000 rubles, and the cases of 5 more residents have not yet been reviewed. We will continue to protest. They are destroying nature, especially water. After them, it is impossible to drink water, and we have nowhere else to get it from, says one of the protesters. Residents of the village already protested against the activities of Oina in 2024 and also blocked the bridge. In fact, prospectors have the right to carry out various works according to documents of federal bodies. However, the issue was not agreed with the residents of the district and was not brought up for discussion. Occasionally, prospectors' workers come and promised mountains of gold to the villagers. Earlier, at meetings with residents, prospectors promised to conclude an agreement with the municipality. However, nothing of the kind was done. Therefore, residents on their own initiative gather and express their legal opinion on the work of the artel. Protocols are drawn up on them, despite the fact that residents do not put forward political or illegal demands, notes another resident of the village. The Chedikolski district is located in the center of Tuva, occupies 3.7 thousand square kilometers. 7.7 thousand people live in several villages of the district. The region is equated to the regions of the far north. Such a status is given to places with a harsh climate, located far from megalopolises. The artel is tied to the family of Oleg Dudko, a former deputy of the Kural. It owns 35% of control over Oina. This is a family that has influence through United Russia, notes anti-corruption expert Ilya Shumanov. Oleg Dudko was a member of the Tuva parliament from 2014 to 2024. He is considered close to Vladimir Putin and former defense minister Sergei Shoigu.
UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has condemned an Israeli strike targeting Hamas leadership in Qatar's capital city, saying, "They do nothing to secure the peace that the UK and so many of our allies are committed to." Starmer was addressing MPs in Parliament during the weekly session of Prime Minister's Questions on Wednesday. The Prime Minister added he would relay the UK's condemnation of the strikes to Israeli President Isaac Herzog when the pair meet later on Wednesday in London. Stressing that the UK remains committed to a two-state solution in the Middle East conflict, Starmer added, "I also will be clear that restrictions on aid must be lifted, the offensive in Gaza must stop and settlement building must cease." The Prime Minister also addressed the shooting down of Russian drones over Poland, calling the incident an unprecedented attack. Poland said Wednesday that it shot down multiple Russian drones that crossed its airspace overnight, including some launched from Belarus, in the most serious violation of NATO territory since Russia launched its full-scale war against Ukraine more than 3 years ago.
Mr. Speaker, turning to other events, I condemn the strikes that Israel carried out in Doha yesterday. They violate Qatar's sovereignty. They do nothing to secure the peace that the UK and so many of our allies are committed to. I spoke to the Emir of Qatar last night, soon after the attack, to convey our support and solidarity. He was crystal clear that notwithstanding the attacks, he would continue to work on a diplomatic solution to achieve a ceasefire and a two-state outcome. He and I are on the same mind on this, Mr. Speaker. That is why I met President Abbas on Monday and why I will meet President Herzog later on today. I will be absolutely clear that we condemn Israel's action. I will also be clear that restrictions on aid must be lifted, the offensive in Gaza must stop, and settlement building must cease. But, Mr. Speaker, however difficult, the UK will not walk away from a diplomatic solution. We will negotiate and we will strain every sinew, because that is the only way to get the hostages out, to get aid in, and to stop the killing.
Sick and tired of antisocial behaviour going untackled.
Mr. Speaker, last night Russia launched drones into Poland in an unprecedented attack. I've been in touch with the Polish Prime Minister this morning to make clear our support for Poland. We will stand firm in our support for Ukraine. With our partners and through our leadership of the coalition of willing, we will continue to ramp up the pressure on Putin until there's a just and lasting peace.
A NATO country has just had to defend itself against Russian drones. Now, more than ever, we need our ambassador to Washington fully focused on this issue and liaising closely with America. Does the Prime Minister have full confidence in Peter Mandelson?
Mr. Speaker, let me start by saying the victims of Epstein are the forefront of our minds. He was a despicable criminal who committed the most heinous crimes and destroyed the lives of so many women and girls. The ambassador has repeatedly expressed his deep regret for his association with him. He's right to do so. I have confidence in him, and he's playing an important role in the UK-US relationship.
But the victims of the paedophile Jeffrey Epstein have called for Lord Mandelson to be sacked. And just so the House is aware, in 2019, Jeffrey Epstein was convicted of child prostitution and sex trafficking that took place between 2002 and 2005. That is the precise period which Lord Mandelson called Jeffrey Epstein his best pal. Was the Prime Minister aware of this intimate relationship when he appointed Lord Mandelson to be our ambassador in Washington?
Mr. Speaker, as she and the House would expect, full due process was followed during this appointment, as it is with all ambassadors. The ambassador has repeatedly expressed his deep regret. He is right to do so. He's now playing an important part in the US-UK relationship.
As the Leader of the Opposition said, Lord Mandelson has admitted to continuing his relationship long after Epstein was convicted, and that there are more embarrassing details we don't yet know. Mr. Speaker, people will be surprised by the Prime Minister giving Ambassador Mandelson such strong support today. So can he tell the House, has the Prime Minister asked the Ambassador what other compromising material the Trump administration might have on him as he leads Britain's negotiations with the White House?
Well, Mr. Speaker, as I've made clear to the House, a full due process was gone through when the appointment was made.
Will the Prime Minister stop Israeli arms dealers from parading their Gaza-tested weapons on UK soil?
Mr. Speaker, we have very clear and strict rules in relation to this, and we have taken action in relation to arms sales.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
And our support for Ukraine, Mr. Speaker, remains unwavering. And the attack last night in Poland shows that Putin's belief that he can somehow act with impunity. And that's why we're working so hard with the coalition of the willing to ensure that there are security guarantees as we go forward, made real progress in recent weeks. We must continue to ramp up the pressure on Putin.
Mr. Speaker.